I think I'm live. I think I'm live. Is it live? Does it work? I don't even know if anyone has been watching this, but in case there is. Let's see. Music is too loud, okay. Hello, hello, hello. Thanks for the heads up, thanks for the heads up. She sound fine, she sound fine. Hello, Mr. Gauntlet 36. Let's see if wait for people to get in. Over a few viewers, that's fine. I'm going to choose Dark Art because I think everyone who's going to be playing this game that is new probably wants to play Dark Art. But yeah. What is the story of Dark Heart? I don't actually really know. I think she's like a time traveler version of Heart. And there's like many different versions of her. Like a lolly version, a non-lolly version. That's why her mechanic is like super unique. I think I might do a Dark Heart overview at some point. I mean, even during the stream. But because she can time travel, she can go back in time and like get like a parallel version of herself to do attacks. So stuff like this, where the version that she's in gets replaced by like a fake, and she goes back in time and like appears like through a portal. So this attack, which is called like parallel link, we're gonna call it infiltrate because that's what we do it in. That's why we call it in the Arcana server. It actually, when it will copy a move that you're doing and keep all of the properties. So if it's overhead, it will stay overhead. If it's iron blockable, it will stay iron blockable. And the reason why this is really good is this includes normals, and it absorbs a hit. But absorbing a hit is like kind of hard to show. But in terms of it being including normals, it takes your momentum at the time that you start the normal. So for example, if I go up, do something like this, you see how it kind of like just drops down. If I go down, swing myself up, I can make it like swing forward. Or I can do... No, because, so the question is, does she have a buttload of unblockable setups? The answer is no, because she has to recover while doing it. So, not really. See? There's no way you'll be able to hit two things at the same time. In fact, it's really hard to even combo from this. But that's fine. A lot of the reason why you do this is to keep yourself safe and to check the opponent's like status, if you know what I mean. Like in fighting games, you don't always use moves with the intention of comboing from them. If you use moves like that, that's when you use infiltrate. So for example, I could bait DPs with it, for example. So like, which is like, you know, very strong. Like being able to bait DPs using her own separate meter. But, anyways, we're going to start the tutorial video. Let me just ping the people in the Arcana server. Live now. Alright. So just getting a bit of air. Okay. So, welcome to Arcana tutorial Q&A kind of thing. I think the best thing we're going to do is first, before like an actual Q&A, I'm going to go through like how to play this game at a base. There are a lot of people who are playing this game for the first time. With the new, with the game coming out pretty much, yesterday? If you don't know what game I'm talking about, why are you here? If you haven't got the game, I'll copy the Steam page for you. The Steam page, the game is currently on sale for £7.58. I don't know what that is in dollars, but it's about $10, right? And you can get some extra DLC. So yes, quite a cheap game overall. Not many games on release of their newest version go on sale for 60-70% off, you know. Anyways, how to play this game. The music is still on a bit of the loud side. Okay, let me. Okay. No, I can see it on the levels now. Actually. Maybe that's better. I didn't really test this out, so. Anyways. Okay, cool. How to play this game? Okay. How do we play this game? Okay, so if you're new to this game, there's a big chance that everything that you see on the internet regarding this game is like super overwhelming, right? How do you do pressure? How do you move around? How do you attack people without dying? How do you do anything at all? I think the best way to play any fighting game is to simplify your game into a very simple game plan, right? The aim of the game is to hit the opponent, which is obvious as hell. But the way you hit your opponent in this game is generally, for most characters, and I'm talking about there is literally one exception, maybe, because that character still wants to do this, just isn't as important. The main way you win in this game is by getting above the opponent, then doing attacks, which becomes safe because you land. So in fighting games, right, when you do an attack like this, I'm going to put the volume of that down a bit. And I'll put the music. So when you land, your attack like stops, like instantly recovers, right? This means that when you land, when you attack on your way down, it's safer. Which is why when you play, if you guys have played like Guilty Gear or anything like that, no one rises with a button unless the button is quick and like change into other stuff, right? No one jumps up with big heavy bars. When people attack with big heavy bars, they fall downwards and they press it. Like, this game is about doing that basically. So what you want to do as a practice is to press D. There's okay, 0 landing recovery depends on the move. The vast majority of moves are 0 landing recovery. Vast majority. And that's like the key to the game's safe attacking. So what kind of like write in the chat, you know, what kind of games do you guys play? Like what games have you guys played before? Game mechanics first. Don't worry, we're going over the game's mechanics. We're going over how to play the game. I'm gonna teach you. I'll teach you everything. And yeah, this game, as Novel Tataki says, this game plays like nothing like other games, so it'll be weird. But let's see, Guilty Gear Axe and Core. All right, we got a Guilty Gear from Gauntlet. We got what other games do you guys play? Probably Guilty Gear, or Blaze Blue, or pretty much any kind of Alice, right? Or King of Fighters 13. What do you do with command grabs if everyone wants to fly? I'll answer that one in a bit. But yeah, alright, so basically all of the standard anime shit, right? Okay, so when you do standard anime shit, if you do big attacks on the way down, they cancel straight away. Because what's unique about Arcana Heart compared to other anime games is that you could control your direction at any point in all 8 directions. Whereas in other anime games, you can normally only go up and forward. So it's like up, forward, or up, back. There's very few times you can do something like this, okay? Or like this, or like this. You can't really do that in most other anime games, right? Now, because of this ability to change your direction, this means that if you jump up in the air and do an attack, which not that way, if you do an attack like this, even if you are going backwards, you can suddenly be going into them. So the first thing you should learn in this game is first how to use the main mechanic, which is the homing button, the D button. And the D button is a button that takes you straight to the opponent. However, it does not attack. So if you've played Dragon Ball Z, it never goes straight to the... It's not like Super Dash where it has like a massive flying hitbox that you can't control. In this game, you can press D and you can control it, right? So the first thing you probably think about when you play this is like, you've got this move, but how do you use this? There's a chucking and the try is considered God tier. Yeah, basically, so like Solo Zucker says. What, like, I think it's Hime, right? I think Hime can't move downwards though. I think she can only go straight down. She can't like go down like this in like the free direction. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But yeah. So what you should do is press the D button. So if you guys have got the games open, which you might have, you probably don't. It's fine. You can basically, the aim of the game is to jump up above your opponent. Yeah. Press jump D. Yeah. And press C or B. Just when you get to the opponent, bam, like that. That is the main way you approach in this game. If you watch match videos, that's the main thing people are aiming to do. Obviously, opponents will make it hard. Mihime just has Marvel Fly. I think she's got like Marvel Fly, except you can't move the direction. It's kind of like a float. When I last played Hime, she has a fast fall as well, but you can't attack on the way down. But yeah, so yeah, you have like Novo says, you have a million options from homing. But the main thing that you want to do is press D and get to the opponent and press a button. That is the main thing you should be trying to do. And with this kind of control, you could do things like with F throws into low, or you could like just whiff buttons into low. That's how you get your mix-ups, and that's also how you get your pressure. Because if you do like Dark Heart standing B, which is jump cancelable, you could jump cancel into homing into an attack like this, and this is plus as hell, as you would expect. Let me just set it to all guard. And with more practice, you can do things like, you know, get mix-ups. I think you should also show Japanese matches in between topics so you can show the interactions. I would do that if I like had that prepared actually. That's a good idea. I'll probably do it next time. I'm forced to do this again. And also guys, you know, give me feedback. You know, if you like this, let me know. I might do these more often if people like it. If no one watches it, then well, I won't do it in it. Anyways, the main thing you want to look into do in this game is hit the opponent by moving into them with like homing like this. So this is one of the biggest things you should practice. Because if you do this, you can get yourself really strong pressure at the very beginning of the game. And all you need to learn after this is a combo from that. So if you hit them, no rebeats or staggers. There are staggers, but it's kind of character specific, and staggers are not really that useful. So if you come from a Melt Your Blood background, it's like C Satsuki with the jump cancelable 214A is not like her staggers are not, her staggers are pretty good actually. It's not Melt Your Blood basically. It's not Uniclear where you can stagger as your main source of pressure, because in this one you could jump cancel everything and then go back in to do something really strong. So you could go like, will this be archived for people to watch in the future? Yes, it will be. I don't have any reason to delete it unless I start swearing. Yay! Did they nerf homing from Fisher since Vanilla Fruit? Yes, they did. But I'll go into that in a bit. Okay, so now that we've got that basic how do you play it, because there's a big chance people like that. Let's hit me some questions. So let's see. Didn't they nerf homing from Precious since Vanilla Arcana 3? Okay, yes. The reason why it's nerfed is that now there's a minimum height. However, the minimum height is still pretty low. You can do like, and that will still hit, and that will still be good pressure. So yeah. Alright, so hit me with some questions. Oh yeah, I'll talk about the question that Flounder said, which is, what do you do with command grabs in this game if everyone wants to fly? Did that save? Okay. So what do you do with command grabs if everyone wants to fly? Basically, command grabs in this game, let's go question. Command grabs in this game normally come with air variants. So people like Kira will try to air throw you instead. To do the dashing, do you have to put DD? No, DD is to get your speed boost. If you press D, and you press D again, it gives you a speed boost. Like this, you can see the waves coming out from the back. Okay, those waves are massive speed boosts. And then what you do is you can cancel that into attack. So for example, D into DB or something. And you get yourself a big massive speed boost. And that speed boost lets people move like the way they do in match videos, where people can do stuff like this. Right. And because the speed boost, well, because it's a speed boost and you can do direction in this game, you can use it to fake your trajectory as well, which is a great way to beat anti-airs, right? So for example, okay. It's hard to do in like, it's hard to show in training mode because training mode is not like fantastic. But in a real match, you'll see that often, where people will move around in ways where it's like, oh, he's not going straight towards the opponent, he's going to stop right in front to bait them into pressing an anti-air and then get hit by a ground button. What are the go-to anti-airs? In this game, anti-airs suck. The majority of them do. Because there's something called Clash, which makes anti-airs really not desirable. They're also unsafe, most anti-airs on the ground, like this. Is generally unsafe because, well, because they're on the ground, they have like grounded recovery, right? So the actual safest thing for most people to anti-air, if someone is constantly jumping in at you, is to jump up at them and press jump A. How is the execution in general? I think the combo execution in this game is quite easy. I think the movement execution is hard. So it takes lots of mastery to move the way you want to. To do combos is very easy. So the best anti-air is don't be there. Yep, don't be there. How do you fly backwards? Yes, so Solo Zoc has a great question, right? How do you fly backwards? So first of all, you press back D, but then if you notice, it eventually goes back to the opponent. You can press back D and press an attack. This shows how weak a backwards movement is in this game. So the game is just by the mechanics, aggressive because there are less ways to go backwards than there are to go forwards. That's why when you see people jump defensively, they will jump backwards because usually homing, one, they get to keep all their homing options. Yeah, you see, they still get to go in, but you know, they get to move backwards quite a fair bit to dodge things. Gauntlet 36. My question is Arcanas. Depends on the character. What character do you want to play? You can change the angles. Then you can also stop the homing effect by pressing a button. So you could go backwards into a throw and it stops, for example. Weiss. Weiss can pick... If you want to pick Weiss... the most popular is Flower. But Weiss is very versatile. You can pick Flower... Blossoms. Love. You could pick Tear, but that's more of a kind of European style pick. The most popular is definitely Love, Blossoms, Wind. Those three, most popular. Sound has really high damage combos, but you have to spend a lot of time in the lab. I don't recommend new people spend time in the lab, unless you just want to do something cool. In which, ask someone for a sound combo. I am German, so Tyr is. Tyr is so good. In fact, it even has a German name. Didn't we say back that people should start with Love? Okay, so yeah. The reason why most people should start with Love is because, one, most characters can play Love and play it well. Love also has really good meter generation. And yes, the meter generation depends on the Arcana. And it also recovers its burst faster than most other Arcanas. And yes, the burst cooldown is also based on your Arcana. So yeah, Love is the recommended for most characters. In particular for Weiss, Blossoms is good, and Wind is good. And Love is good too. I would just really pick Love. Love is good. There's also Time, but that takes a bit of lab. Yep, what Novel says is correct. Love is all around great and easy to use, so you can focus on learning the game's basics. And you know what? Love has good, on top of all the numbers stuff, you know what? It's got a full screen beam. It's got a full screen beam, and you can cancel it. So if I just... you know what I mean? You could do like... You do stuff like that. You also cancel on Whiff, which is like fantastic. Are there any broken characters? I think Dark Heart's a bit broken, right? But that's my opinion. She's super strong. We will see, it's a bit day one, but like, wow, she's damn good. How high is average combo damage? Average combo damage nowadays, depending on how you hit them, generally, okay, air to air, the general is about 6 or 7k, and if you get hit by an air attack while on the ground, you take around 11 to 12 on average, or 10 to 11 on average. High damage characters like Saki can end up going up to 15, and you got specific Arcana combos which can do an absolute ton. So let me just show you what an Arcana combo could look like. And it depends on your resources as well. Assume that most combos in this game are not meatless. So if I was to just pick Weiss, 3. So for 2 bars, you can get yourself 14.6. Okay. So it depends on your character really. Like if I do like... Oh wait. That's 10. And air to air is like different. But that's what average damage looks like. The offensive Roman Council thing, it depends. You say offensive, but it really depends. Neutral is also offense, I guess. Can you go over the options you have as both characters in a wall slam situation? Yes, so if I want to go for a wall slam situation, I'll quickly go through... the topic we're going to have is wall slams. Okay, so the thing about wall slams that's quite interesting is... The thing about wall slams that's quite interesting is you can tech them off. You can nearly always tech them like that. The thing is if you, okay, so let's say for example you tech, you can be thrown, you can be air thrown, but they can tech it. So you gotta be careful about that. I'm so bad at this. And this is a bit of a meme set. Let me do one that's real. Huh. Yeah, you can still break it off the wall tech. Is that a rollerblade succubus? Yes, it is. I think it might be a bit of a devil, but you know, succubus, devil, same thing. But yeah. The easiest way to summarize wall slam situations is if you tech the wall, you can be thrown, but you can still break it. So don't tech the wall unless you're willing to go for a throw break mix up. However, if you don't tech the wall, your opponent might be able to combo off it. So doesn't take off the wall. 1, 2, 3. What's the throw tech window like? It's fairly large. I think the main thing about throws is that like throws don't do a lot of damage and they're not too punishing anyway, so just get thrown. Not that bad. What's that love luck stuff? Are those assists? Love and luck stuff are the Arcanas that you can pick. So for example, if I go, say you pick a character here. This is the Arcanas. And what this does, or what these do rather, is they give you an extra set of specials and they modify a whole bunch of stats and gives you a whole bunch of extra things that you can customize your gameplay with. So for example, a character that might have no projectiles might pick something like wind, so they can have free jumps and they can have like the wind projectile. Somebody who plays like a character with innate projectiles might pick lightning, so they have more inherent like defensive options. There are tons of Arcanas that all do different things. Maybe a character will pick something like darkness or time, so they can get more mix-up style gameplay. A good example would be something like Elsa, right? Arcanas basically change your fireballs, promise other things. Yeah, well, let me show you something really cool. Those dice that I just threw out, these are actually specific to the Arcana. And what an Elsa may do is that because the character is always able to get a sweep as their ender, they might pick luck so they can get some Oki that explodes. But then you might have people that play, say for example, Heart, normal Heart, that might pick something like Love so they have the zoning that they need to pressure people from full screen. So for example, show us a cool combo with the poison position swap. I can't do any cool combo like that. I think the best thing I could come up with, or rather the best thing I remember, is like Kira. Like, yeah, this is interesting actually. Wait. How do I do this swap? There it is, okay. Position swap. Bam. You get... And that's specific to the Arcana. So yeah, there's some cool things you can do. pretty interesting mechanic, the Arcanas. And I think they play a big role in the way you play your character, right? Being able to pick a grappler and then pick zoning tools is really strong. But there's also people who play grapplers and then pick tools, pick movement tools, or they pick movement Arcanas. Or maybe people who play movement characters pick zoning tools and all sorts, right? And yeah, some also have passive effects and some can even change the system mechanics, right? So if you pick something like Wind, it gives you free jumps, which is like the most impactful that most people talk about. But another one that people like forget is actually that Wind also has a fast fall. So if I was to, let's say, let me show you something cool with Wind. Let's play Fiona. Is there something in the game that explains what Arcanas do? No, unfortunately not. This game is like fully an arcade game. So you go in there, put your credit in, and lose your credit. But yeah, so for example, picking Wind lets you do stupid shit like that, where like, let's make this make them stand. So you can do like, at the cost of a bar. Alternatively, the fast forward assisting combos, you also get 1, 2, 3 jumps, which is all generally useful. Or you can do 2 air dashes. However, air dashes in this game are very specific. A lot of the times you don't need an extra air dash, but you need 3 jumps. 3 jumps is really nice. Then you've got other things like Light, which lets your super jump be humongous. But yeah, each Arcana does have an in-game moves list, and I think the in-game moves list also tells you its effects. So, is it Mildred? Yeah. So light velocity, down, up. So for example, super jump. It summons the wings, and look how big the super jump is now. And if you're wondering why would you ever want to jump that high, this game is all about being above the opponent. So you can do movements like this. Also, when you press extend force, which is ABC, every Arcana has its own specific effect that it does. Love lets you cancel your specials into like Arcana specials, which is generally not very useful. But Light, or Mildred, lets her, can you see the angel behind you? That angel can do specials for you, and they're like massive tracking projectiles. So yeah, your Arcanas and the Arcana pick changes the way you play, way more than you'd think at first. That's why we mostly recommend Love, because Love has the most versatile usage, well, has the most simple and versatile Arcana use, I'd say. That's like in the game right now. The other one is Tear, but Tear is like, you can get addicted to Tear quite easily. It's a bit of a, it's a bit weird. But yeah, wind makes you speedy with way more movement options. Light increases clashes, and metal makes you a tank. Metal doesn't really make you a tank, but metal has a really weird level up system, and the level up system can really affect the way reward works, because the metal supers are the only things in this game that do real chip, in my opinion. They can do almost about 4,000 damage worth of chip in a single super. Okay. And yeah, what Marco Pateri, which I think is Siffer, says is true. Love is also good because it is useful even if you don't use any of the Arcana effects, because it's just good. There's no bad thing about love. So for new people, pick love. So that's the Arcana topic. Okay. Are there any other? Well, I'll say there any other questions. What questions you guys have got? What would you want me to go through? Are there any really bad characters to avoid? Depends on your aims of like how far you want to get into the game, right? If you want to be really good at this game, I suggest you don't pick Nazuna, and I suggest you don't pick Chaga. But the reason why I say you don't pick Nazuna is because she doesn't play Arcana Heart, and Chaga's just bad. Should we showcase the 6 HC? Yes, let's do that then. For the new people who are here, I'm going to show you the 6 homing cancel. So in this game, you can actually, the homing dash, you can also cancel moves into it as well. Aside from the Discord, the Mizumi H3 LMS is probably the best place to get general idea what's happening. Yeah, probably. I think the wiki's okay. I don't really deal with the wiki, and I don't know about the Discord. I don't know which Discord you're talking about. There are multiple, or there's 2 Arcana Heart Discords, so a bit of drama happened, but yeah. Alright, 6 HC. So in this game, you can cancel attacks into homing. It costs 1 bar at the bottom left. You can also do Arcana Specials and Whiff, which is very useful for zoning purposes. If you want to combo someone in this game, and you really need a basic combo, there are 2 things you could do. 1, ABC super. Simple. Actually, that doesn't work on that. You can just do like a simple attack into super. To get started, it's pretty decent. And especially if you play Dark Heart, yeah, you know what? It's pretty good. The next thing you can do is do like a basic combo, basic air combo. So the basic air combo structure in this game is hit them with something that makes them go into the air, whether it be a launch, which 6C for some reason isn't, now that I think about it. Mostly like a sweep, right? Then you cancel it in some way. So you can either extend force cancel with ABC, or you can do 6D cancel. And 6D lets you act faster than other cancels. So you do like a sweep or a launch, 6D or extend force into 5A or any quick button to hit them, because if they touch the floor, you know, the combo is going to drop. Into something that's jump cancelable, and then go into air combo. And just do whatever air shoot into whatever knockdown. This works on almost every character. I think, what character doesn't it work on? I don't know. I'm pretty sure it works on every single character. If you name me a character, it can do it. Like, Dark Heart can do it. Yeah, and unfortunately, switching characters does take a while. Bit of a shame, but like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Like you could do that on pretty much every character. So if that's how you generally do combos in this game. It's also a way of extending pressure, right? So what you can do is if your opponent is blocking, and you do something really silly and unsafe, like this, except that's safe. But yeah, you do something like this. You can do home cancel to bounce. You're not going to have that many bars, and you probably shouldn't spend it that way, but it's something that you can do if you do something unsafe. This also includes things like Dragon Punches, right? So if you do a Dragon Punch, it's like, oh shit, whoops. You can always cancel and block. That's also not involved, but you know, you get the point. So another thing is, to do extend force cancel, in case you didn't know for some reason, you can actually just press ABC, so attack. Your character will probably scream extendo or some shit. It takes, you can only do it if your bar or your extend force bar is full, and the way you can tell your extend bar is full is underneath your portrait. So for where player 1, right, at the top left where it says 100%, can you see that glowing green thing? If it's glowing in green, you can use it. If it's blue, I think, yeah, if it's blue like this, you can't use it just yet. You can still burst it. Oh, and also, if it's red, you can't use it. And if you burst, it takes ages to come back. So be very careful when you burst. I think another tip that I would give a lot of new players is generally don't burst, because you want this cancel to let you do stuff. Oh, right. Is there anything that people want any help with? Like, has anyone tried the game out and being like, oh, how do I do pressure? Don't burst unless it's a last resort. Generally good advice, that. Generally. It depends. You know, maybe you are sick at this game. And you can manage your bars very well. If you've played BlazBlue, it's similar. Use overdrive and don't burst. Yeah, pretty much. Because overdrive comes back faster than burst, and it gives you a ton of extra stuff, basically. It gives you tons of bar, it gives you really good combos and stuff like that. In this one, it's not as impactful as OD, but it recovers way faster than OD. But by tons, because I think OD takes almost the same time about a burst. A bit faster, but yeah, this comes way faster. So you can use this constantly. Yeah, I think for homing, if you home with an attack, and home with a big attack. If you're further away, use big attacks. Oh, whoops. Use big attacks if you're further away, because they normally have better hitboxes and better hit stun and stuff like that, right? But if you're closer, use faster buttons. And remember, you can use this homing to also make your pressure, because you can go in any direction. You can do this. And you can also do things like, oh, if I think they're going to mash, backdash, go back in. Or like, you know, you can use it to get cross-ups and stuff as well. Maybe show them curving and boosting. Yes. So, more homing demonstration. When you press the homing button, normally you go straight towards the opponent. You can use the arcades, or you can use the directions to change the way you move. It will still tend towards the opponent though. So if I homing and I hold up, it kind of like goes upwards in like an upwards way, but still goes towards heart, right? This lets you attack in a different place, in a different direction, rather than being really linear and going straight towards the opponent. If you've played Dragon Ball Z, one thing you might notice is that once you do Super Dash, it goes straight to an opponent, you can't do anything about it. Whereas in this game, if you press it, you can like move in different directions. It's way harder for them to intercept you. But it also means that it's up to you to make sure you do it correctly. Air backdash. Air backdash is kind of okay. I think if you use air backdash, like, get yourself some space before you go back in with Arcana, with a dash. You can also think about going to the ground prior. That is true. So for example, press homing, go down, go up and then down. So it's like, you know, it fakes out your approach. Makes you really unpredictable. You can also press D to boost. And I did explain that earlier, but I'll explain it again anyway. If you press D again after you started homing, you get this blue wave, and that speeds you up, so you can go down. You see that? This level of control makes it really awkward for someone to intercept you. But this is generally only done in the air when you're above the opponent. If you're below the opponent, you can still do it, but basically you need space, right? it can be really difficult to track where the opponent will be. And that's what most of this game is. So yeah. What I'm going to do now is probably going to show a replay that I've saved. Of like some dark art mirrors. And yeah, ask me some questions while we're watching this, I guess. Or if there's any other questions people want to ask that they want me to demonstrate. For sure, you can learn something. So this is what like the game ends up looking like. These two players are, well, one's me, and one's the guy that's been playing this game for quite a bit as well. Can you stack the luck buff from Luck Arcana infinitely? The answer is yes, if I remember correctly, but it's unrealistic. You see both players trying to get above each other. Can you go over the defensive mechanics? Yes, I can. I think I should do that outside of the this replay. Alright, let's go over defensive mechanics. This is going to be a long one, guys, so sit down. So basically, what's likely to happen is you're likely going to get into a position where most people can play offensively, but most people can't play defensively. So, alright, the shields, yes, but do you know what they do? You know the properties. You know how to use them. I didn't for a very long time, so let's see. So I'm just going to quickly program this to do a quick block string. Let me do that again. That's a bad one. I don't play hard. You can see that. Okay. So I'm going to go for a very simple set of explanations for the defensive mechanics, because like Novril says, they're actually really complicated in terms of what you can do with them, but there are some mechanics in this game that are quite easy to do, and there are some usages that are very easy to learn. So first, let's go with Extend Blast, the easiest one to use. If you press ABC in neutral, that your character does some pose, the background changes, you go into Extend Force mode. Extend Force mode, another kind of works. I won't explain it today. If you hit them, it knocks them away. It's also invul, so you can use it to get them away from you. You can also use it in block style. So you can use ABC to get them away from you. So this bar at the top left is important for defensive usage as well. Because if you burst, you can't do it, right? You can't extend blast. So that's the easiest defensive mechanic to understand. You press it, it knocks them away. Cool. Very good for like anti-airs, so... wow. Damn. Easiest one to use. The one that's a bit more complicated is... Why is it not blocking? Something called guard cancel. So if you guys have the D button bound to your the D button in block stun, there's two guard cancels: backwards guard cancel and forwards guard cancel. So first, let's start with the backwards guard cancel, because I think this one's quite easy to understand, but using it is also pretty difficult at the same time. It's a backdash that can be done in block stun that has extended invul, and you can cancel it into specials that are in the air. So let's go over that one more time. It's invul, so if they do something, whiff, you can cancel into air specials. It also has a ton of invul, like a ton of invul. So the way you use this is if your opponent is playing like an absolute zombie and they just press A, B, C, right? You can use the guard cancel to make them whiff an important move like their sweep and get a punish. You can pay me to roll away out of block side, yes, but there are different uses of what you can do from that. So for example, in King of Fighters, the roll from guard state is just a roll. There's not much you can do. I mean, if you roll backwards into the corner, you might be able to punish something that's really high recovery, right? Or even forwards, actually. And in this game, it's the same idea, except you also have the option of cancelling to air special. Now, this character is really bad at it, but like, yeah, this character doesn't have any good options. But yeah, basically, backwards guard cancel makes them whiff an attack. The times you want to use it, if you think about how block strings are made in this game, is when you think they're going to press a button that is long recovery, so like a C button, right? So what happens to get into a C button? They will normally press A, B, C. So if you block a B button, you might want to backdash at that exact moment. However, it is easily baitable. Be careful. Yes, what minister is correct. It's actually a backdash backwards homing, not a backdash. Do you have special properties like time backdash? It doesn't apply. Yep, that's exactly correct. I call it a backdash because it's like really easy to understand, but yeah, it's basically a backwards homing. Because it also goes back into the opponent. This defensive mechanic, even if you use it in neutral, it doesn't cost a bar, and it's still invul. So yeah, 4D has invincibility and it can be used in block stun. Cool. That's 4D. Now let's talk about 6 guard cancel. Even this one's complicated because it lets you do clash, but yeah, using clash can be pretty difficult. So let's see. Let's get a recording. Okay, so your opponent is a gorilla. He clearly doesn't know what he's doing. What you can do is use 6D while in block zone to make yourself like a big yellow glowing shield. And when it clashes, both of you can choose a choice. That's pretty hard. A lot of the time you just press the fastest button, so you can do like stuff like that, right? It's hard to explain why that would be useful because you both can act, but let's just say that your opponent isn't the one who's using the defensive option, so there is a chance they may slip. However, what is super useful is what you can do is special cancel it. So you can go into Dragon Punch. Dashing is an advanced topic that even new players are kind of forced to encounter. Yes, it's also like incredibly hard to understand, even for a lot of like strong Arcana Heart players, right? And like even strong fighting game players. The nuances around clash, things like distance, right? Things like fastest button, the options you could do from it. You know what defensive options can you do? It can be quite difficult. The recommendation is if you play a character with a Dragon Punch or a fast special, what you want to do is you want to guard cancel into it. And you can, as you can see, you can also like cancel into it fairly fast. Wait, let's record. Yeah, that's how I would use it. It is pretty difficult to use. So yeah. 5D versus directional lead. Yes, let's go with that then. So now let's talk about homing. Homing part 3. Let's go. So, homing again. There are 2 types of homing. And the second type of homing can be subdivided as well. But there's the 2 main types. Directional homing and neutral homing. Neutral homing is when you press 5D by itself. Or just press D by itself, right? So you jump up in the air, press D. It goes towards your opponent. The way this one works is it makes a little spark, right? It pauses and then it moves towards your opponent at high speed, right? This is the fastest homing you can do, especially if you use boosts. This is the ones that you're going to see people use for their pressure and like their movement a lot of the time. So quick question, Gauntlet says, if you both press 5A after clash and they hit at the same time, will you clash again or will it trade? They will clash again. And I think that's very important because when it clashes again, you can't use the same move as you used in the clash. So if you both 5A, if you press 5A again, nothing will come out. So if you then go into 2A, and then if your 2A's clash, then your 5A's will clash. And what will then happen is you get people that just like clash. But yeah. Let's go back to homing. So there's neutral homing, which goes towards your opponent, high speed. Then you have directional homing. No spark, so it can be a bit ambiguous. So this is 1D and 3D that I'm using in the air. Okay? These move slower, for sure. You see that this distance is just not as fast. However, they don't have a pause at the beginning. They move immediately. The backwards ones are invul, so this one's invul, so I can show you real quick. Oh yeah! Wait, that's not what I'm doing. Yeah, invul. They move straight away, and you can use it to gain an extra height. Technically, it can be used as a third jump, but I'm not really recommended. But you can do like super jump, upwards homing. And yeah, those are the 2 different types of homing. Once you are already homing, you can then curve your homing, as we said earlier. Okay. Now, I don't really feel like going over clash. Reminders to show air and blockable setups. Yes, okay, let's go with air and blockable setup. This will be air. How do I air? Wait, what? Air and blockable setup. So in this game, you're probably wondering how do you mix anyone up if they're constantly jumping in the air and stuff, right? Like, it's just not really easy to do because there's no overheads or lows when people are jumping. And crossing people up is hard in the air as well. So the way mix-ups are done in this game on jumping opponents is you do block strings that take them to the ground into a move that can be air unblockable. Every character has 2E and 5E, which are air unblockable. Bam! You can see how the bot was set to block, but you know, you get to launch them anyway. So what you think you could do is 1, 2, 3, flap, bam. Okay? Now, what if you are on the receiving end? Okay? Yeah, so another reason why attacking from the top is so rewarding. Even if you block, you can get screwed by air and blocker. So for example, bam. You see what I mean? Like, you block because you recovered first. Now, you're probably wondering, how do I get out of that? If my opponent did that to me, what would I do? Well, first, I'm going to attempt to get to make a string like this. Actually, what would I do? Okay, I'm just gonna make a simple one where I'm gonna block it. I'll get the time to make myself look like I got into a block string. Yeah. So let's say, for example, you get into that kind of situation. Right? Remember I talked about the 4 guard cancel, or the backwards guard cancel that has invincibility, or the 6 guard cancel that has the clash frames? This applies in the air as well. So, you see that? That checkmate situation? Dodge it. Or you could guard cancel too. You could also block, clash it. Yeah. The easier one is the 4D. It's also like really sick. Because if you do 4D and if you're not in block stun, you still get something that's invul. Whereas if you do 6D while in block stun and you're not actually in block stun, you get forwards and you die. So yeah, you can avoid air unblockable setups by using the 4 guard cancel. Now it was actually super quick, but I can tell you that this situation happens really often. Yeah, you know, right? These are the kind of things that most new players will always run into. That is like, oh god damn, this is cheap. And you know, there are a lot of cheap things in this game, but this is the kind of stuff that you need to know to get around getting unblockable constantly, right? Another thing as well is that like, if you charge the E attacks, they guard crush and people can combo from it. So for example, so what you can do is if your opponent charges an unblockable, like that. Well, you can dodge it using the 4D. Which I am terrible at doing. Also this guard crush is like such a meme. But what's going to happen is you're gonna as a new player, you're gonna run into somebody who's an absolute asshole who's just gonna do that over and over again, and you need to know a way around it. That's your way around it. Also, god absolute damn it. You can also just do what I do, which is just like, oh shit. Extend blast away. So I am not taking that shit. Say no. Alright. But yeah, any of the new players, other than Novel Tataki, who is mostly spectating today, any newbies have any questions before I go off and just start playing the game? I don't know if anyone's playing actually. Maybe I might put like post on like where you can find the Discord actually. If you are interested in like playing with other people, because playing with other people is a good thing, here's the Discord. Is there any Arcanas that give a parry? I know Arcana has one. No, there is a pseudo parry, however. But I'll show you. There's something called lightning. So, you're right, Arcana does have a parry. However, every character has access to the Thunder Arcana, right? And the Thunder Arcana gives everybody on command frame 1 clash that they can use at any time. And the reason why this is useful is if you are like, if you want to do some of that real like flashy like cool shit. So for example, guy does a projectile, right? Projectiles annoying. People hate them in general. It's cheap. However, if you press the E button with thunder, I did not know that reflects. Wait, hold up. Okay, there it is. Alright. So yeah. Arcanas change your E attacks. Thunder, in particular, has some effects that are really cool. One, Dash has Clash on it, with that little Thunder Spark. Kinda cool. Kinda gimmicky. Not really that useful. But the one that's super useful, if you press E, or charge, or 2E or 5E, during the charge up frames of the unblockable, you will clash attacks, which means you can clash projectiles. And because you clash, you get a free action, which means you can jump and get out. Why is this useful? This means that if they were to do something really like, let's do something. Something like this, right? Which you would assume to be quite plus. Oh god, wait. 1, 2, 3. That's plus as hell, right? And you can't really match that. Oh my god, I'm terrible. Get out. I know Echo rolls around with JE because it lasts forever. What do other characters do? That is going to be hard to explain because most characters do kind of similar things. Everyone plays the Arcana Heart spacing game into the Arcana Heart pressure, into the Arcana Heart mix. There are some characters with very unique things. However, it would take me many days to go over every single character in this game. So are there any characters that you in particular want me to go over? I don't really want to like talk about like Kamui for like ages and then talk about every other character. Parries boost cancelling. So I'm going to showcase Claris today, I guess. I was showing the homing cancel and the homing boost, right? Oh, homing into homing boost. If you press boost, which is a D during homing, and then a button really quickly straight after, you get the speed boost, but not the kind of like, how to say, your boost gets slower over time, but if you attack, you retain the speed boost. So what you can do is go from one side of the screen to the other pretty much instantly with Claris, because Claris is the fastest moving character in the game. Or rather, she's not fastest moving, her boost is the fastest in the game. And I think her homing is the fastest as well. It's pretty damn fast. But like, you could do like homing, boost, up, and press A and you get air throw. This is a good way of practicing homing boost cancel. In fact, I should just show you homing boost cancel. So let's change the subject. Homing boost cancel. So I have a separate video on this, and I'm pretty sure it's pasted in the beginner channel over and over again. Let me check. There's too many like there's too many videos here. Too many posts. It's been quite wild recently because we haven't had that many like we haven't had this many people in new people in the game for a while. So right. Okay. This here is a video on homing boost cancelling, but if you want me to show it now, basically what you do is you press D again after a delay, because it takes a bit of a delay before you can D again, and then you plink it into a button. So it's like, I don't know if you can hear it, but it's like that. So boom. You can practice with Claris by going boost, then up D A. Boost, up DA. Boost, up DA. Boost, up DA. And if you can do this, you can move super fast. And I think it's pretty fun to do as well. But remember, stuff like this also depends on the position of the character. So if the opponent is like near the top of the screen, you can go all the way up. So high jump. You see? I did not know there's free homing. Wait, one. Wait. 1, 2. Okay, I thought so. Alright, just making sure. So, up. This is something that you can do to practice your homing boost, basically. D. So get like a super jumping like Angelia with light. And just see if you can get yourself to the top of the moon. Yeah, when you said like fly to the moon, it wasn't really a figure of speech. Like, you can actually just go to the top of the moon. And this is something that you can practice. Which is why when I've heard things like, oh, why does the stage go up so high? I'm like, the stage doesn't go high enough. You know, like, you can really go up there. Especially with combos that look like this. So easy to with her misfires. Yes, it is. I think it's quite easy to It's easy to miss the mist finders, not because they're bad or they're smaller than Johnny's, but because people move around so erratically that people are likely to just randomly dodge it. Whereas in Guilty Gear, people are expected to stay kind of in the same position as you expect them, and they don't have that many options. Maybe Johnny has a hard time pinning Milia down with mist finders, but I can tell you that it's really hard to do with Claris in this game. The combo is going down. Yeah. Yeah, we can do that. Should we do that? How do people feel about that? Give me a vote if you want me to go over it. Should we have a Japanese match video analysis? Meantime, let me get my studio mode ready. Let's find a match video. I had a match link. I always love like showing people, but like I've got to find it real quick. I think it's this one. I think. Let me know how you feel about it, and then I'll do it. Match vid. Alright, cool. Let's do it. So let me just reset the match video. Oh, where's my mouse? Sorry. I'm new to this whole like streaming thing, clearly. Alright, turn off music. Turn on this.
Weiss で Minori 相手するの結構めんどくさいんですよね。
Also gonna like, close that real quick. Alright boys, we got some Arcana match video analysis. So first thing, we're going to... I can't believe you were able to teach the game in an hour. Nah, there's no way. I think like we should do more of these if people are more interested in learning. As always, go into the Discord. There's people willing to answer questions. Don't talk to me on a bad day. I will tell you about your mum. But yeah, we're going to go over Minori versus Weiss. So unfortunately, yeah, the video itself does have a bit of a cutout, a bit weird, but yeah. Minori, strong character on the left. Momiji, literally the best Arcana player of all time, on the right. You see his ranking of 89% win rate, 9999999 points. Not even a meme. Okay. So everything that we're going to talk about, or rather, I'm going to go over this like one match. It's going to take ages, but I'll try to explain everything that goes on and especially the points that we went over today. Okay, so as you can see, we got a flower. Weiss. Flower has the fastest burst recharge. If you are the kind of guy that gets hit and bursts straight away, pick Flower. For the people for Wind is free jumps. You know that one. Also got good zoning. Yeah. Let's put the volume of this one down. Alright. So he bursts straight away. I mean, this is gonna be really hard. I wonder if I can play this half speed, but yeah, burst straight away. Zoning. Okay. So I did say earlier that like the person above is the person that wins. The reason why he lets him tech in the air is that even though he's above, he doesn't have a lot of control of where he is. He's directly above him, which is like not a great place to be. And as you can see, the Weiss set these like campfire things down on the floor. They're bad news. So you know this is a good move for him. But you see. And one thing that's interesting about Minori is that Minori is actually able to combo wherever she is on the map. So, unlike other characters where the higher they are, the more damage they lose, Minori is able to always bring you down to the ground. So she's pretty good. But yeah, you see how like the players are like trying to get themselves height. Defensive movement. Can you see how I was saying how when people are trying to oh god, the video's so big. When people are trying to move defensively, they will move backwards with big super jumps and try to get space that way. They don't like homing backwards because you can't do that. Another thing as well is that most of the jumps that are seen here are going to be super jumps unless they need to rise with a quick burn. The reason why they use super jumps is because well, they're big and they also move back or forwards better. Yeah. They go back in space. They're scared of the guard cancel options. Yes. Okay, so this move that was done here is pretty interesting, right? In this game, or in like pretty much every fighting game you have probably played, block stun, if you get hit with block stun in the air, you normally fall downwards after a while. depending on the amount of blocks done. The thing is in this game, block stun is huge. Like you could block something like nearly at super jump height and land on the ground, still not be able to do anything. But what this guy does is he does an attack. Yeah, that's actually a bit of a pain to do this with YouTube. Let's see. Let's look at show it again. I think what I might do is if I want to do one of these in the future, I'll prepare a video and download it so we can like skip it around better. But look, he does an attack. The guy blocks it, right? He home and cancels it into a cross-up button. So yeah, really cool. The Weiss could have done something about it, but yeah, he could have done guard cancel to try to dodge the cross-up, but you know that costs bar, and you know some people are stingy. And I don't know if you noticed, but the Weiss already has her burst back, which is pretty good. You see how these guys are trying to fake each other out? They kind of move into each other and then move straight down to the ground because the shallow angle is not very good. Yeah, and that's an air throw. That's a tech air throw basically. Yeah, Marvel can push block really strong. You see how the person above is the one with the advantage? So what this guy did is homing, go down, go up to chase him, but because there's gravity in this game, he lands, bam, dead. Perfect. That's exactly what you should be doing in this game. Get above the opponent, land on them with a big button. I'm not sure he drops the combo, I wasn't watching, but yeah. I think the guy probably bursted. Jump. What a beautiful hit confirm. You can really see how strong the character is comboing from that high to get him to the ground to do a stronger combo. You see how they're using cancels to keep their pressure safe and flexible? Very important. Also, I'm willing to take any questions if people have any questions while we're watching. You see how it doesn't get a lot of damage from hitting them in the air? That's another reason why I want to be in the air. If you're on the ground, you get hit, everyone knows they're ground BNBs. If you get hit in the air, you might not get comboed. Oh. You can see them trying to get high on each other. Yep. Because everything in this game regenerates, you want to be using your resources often, but it doesn't mean you could use them in a stupid way. You still need to use them in good ways, but it gives you a lot of freedom in how you use your bar. Guilty Gear wouldn't be nearly as interesting if you only had one roaming cancel in the entire game. A lot of the reason why Guilty Gear is interesting is because you get a fair amount of bar by doing things such as moving forward that allows you to do things that are interesting. Also, you can see right here again, this is a perfect example of getting slammed because let me see. Because of height. See that? See that? That. What we expect from both of these characters? They're both going to be playing the same similar kind of normals game, and a lot of characters in this game will do that. Where basically, get above the opponent, press a big button, your opponent blocks it, yes or no. Bait out each other's defensive options. Or catch your opponent with no bar. Bam. In this game, if you're on the floor, you're susceptible to mix-ups, basically. There it is. Another thing as well is that if you block stuff in the air, you might have to spend resources to like not get screwed over. So you see these guys, they're using a lot of their bars on like either one, kick confirms or combos, or two, just defensive stuff in the air. You see less of them on the ground, you see a lot more in the air, like. And you see how the guy was trying to be stingy, got hit for it. Floor is lava. Yeah, floor is definitely lava. I think the biggest issue with new players when they play this game is they think the floor is safe. Then they get jumped in and they're like, what do I do against jump-ins? What is my anti-air? There are no anti-airs. And if there are no anti-airs, you have to join them. The air. Or just not be in that place in the first place, right? Like, if you play Melted Blood, you'll probably be very well acquainted with the idea that your anti-airs don't really work unless you're coma. Like F coma, I think. or maybe some other characters as well. But your anti-airs are not great, which means really you need to just be not in that position. And with the amount of movement options in this game, if you're in that position, like, you lost. Huh? Yeah, I think one thing to really notice is how much homing is being used to chase after the opponent. How much they change their position as well. Like while they're playing, they'll just curve in ways to make sure that they're not like predictable. They don't like air unblockable. So this is a fantastic example of like how to punish a person who just blocks the air, right? But he has no bar. That means he can't guard cancel anymore. You see the lead slot on this side, on the bottom right? Has no bar. Blocks air attack. So he can't guard cancel. Lands into air unblockable. Gets hit. Bursts. And obviously he's like, nah, fuck that. It's like, nope. Regular air dash are not used in neutral order. Yes, they are not generally used. A lot of the time people use them backwards. They don't use them forwards. They use them backwards because it's like, it goes backwards. Backwards is a bit of a rarity. I mean, this guy is not even doing air dashes. He's just gonna super jump twice. But sometimes you might want to save your super jump. Like I'm not a fan of constant super jumping twice, but yeah. But you can see like, this guy, instead of going straight in on him, might do something like homing boost straight to the ground closer to him so that he retains his jumps so that he can go into the air again if he needs to be. Which I think is good. But I think this is far beyond the scope of any beginner really. Like, see from here? Go straight down. Although to be honest, you could argue that there was no real point to that, but yeah. That's not optimal. What's going on? So yeah. So you see how air dashes are still used offensively? I mean, they're still good offensively. And like, air dash in this game, by any other game's metrics, air dashes in this game are fantastic. By any other game's metrics, the only problem with air dashes is that homing exists. So it's like, if you're using them, you're using them for a very specific case because homing is just better. And yeah. As you can see at higher level play, people don't move in a straight line. Guard cancel to dodge move, get a punish, or at least get his pressure back, but the guy mashed, so yep, cross up, dead. So yes. What would you say air dashes would be useful? So probably say when. You probably mean when. Air dashes are useful when you want to go for a mix-up. And you want to move forward, but you don't want to use your homings, because homings do go towards the opponent, which can really screw you over still. Air dashes don't cover a lot of distance, as Novo Tataki says. So it's mostly used as like, oh, I want to move a little bit forwards without committing my air dash. I'm going to quickly change over to the game. I'm going to show you something about air dashes. One thing about air dashes is, like I said, it doesn't take your homing, right? So if I did like, I haven't air dashed in ages. Oh wow, yeah, this air dash sucks. Oh, wow, never mind. I need a better air dash. Let me get a better air dash. Wait, no. Oh yes, let's go with Dark Heart. You want a good air dash? Let's pick Dark Heart. Okay. So if you do stuff like this, right, it's way better than doing this sometimes if you want to go for like a mix-up. Also, in pressure, you can use it to go backwards, because homing backwards is not as good because it uses homing, right? And remember, you can't start a homing if you're already in homing. So you could do backdash and then homing. The reason why that's useful is because people might mash random shit, like a dragon punch, right? But then, oh, what if they don't mash a dragon punch? Okay, you then go back in if you're homing. Same works forwards, so you can like jump forwards, air dash, homing to dodge the dragon punch. Lots of uses that you can you can basically do with air dashes, but most of it is within close range, unless you're doing stuff like this, where you're just like, you know what, I want to go backwards and build a bit of bar. Yeah. What Minister, Minister is actually giving really good advice here. In Street Fighter, jumping forward is a commitment. In GG, jumping forward is defensive. I don't know about that actually. I don't know if that's defensive. And air dash is commitment. I guess jumping forward is kind of like safe-ish because you still have your air dash, and the air dash itself is commitment. In this one, jumping is safe, air dash is safe because you can still block during it. Homing is the commitment. But the thing is people are always willing to commit when the homing itself is not linear. So it's still not like, if I home from here, it's not that hard of a commitment, right? But if I home from here, that's a commitment. There's nothing I can do from here. I can't even like go backwards or anything like that. If they drag it at this exact point, I will just get hit. So this is when air dashes becomes useful because I could be too close. So yeah, I can't dodge dragon from there, but if I do this, I'll be able to dodge the dragon. Okay, let's go back to the video. I'm not sure if like people are watching the video. It's a bit weird because like for beginners it can be hard to like look at this and be like, I don't know what's going on. Yeah. So yeah, the reason why I recommend Minori to a lot of newbie players is because the character does a ton of damage and lots of cool combo like training mode shit. It's quite nice. Quite fun to play if you like combo mode shit. That's pretty good. So the reason why you don't see Lieselot try to go for air jump advantage over their opponent is mostly because Lieselot doesn't have good air buttons for the downwards approach, and she kind of wants to stay near her doll there, because that doll can attack even while she's getting hit, so that's her defense mechanism. So she's gonna be like moving the doll back and forth and like trying to stay near it. I say that as she gets hit straight away, but you get the idea. But yeah, I mean, like air dash is also like quite offensive as well. Air dashes can be offensive if you use them right. And yeah, like because you have so many options from homing. Also, did I just see that? That was crazy. Because air dashes have so much options, they're not that risky still. But what you can't do is another homing. So a lot of stuff in this game isn't very risky, and the point of this game is to mostly try to do stuff that isn't risky in the first. But yeah, look at the use of homing here. There's a point where like the guy kind of like rises, and then like falls on top of him with a cross up. Like look at that. That was crazy, right? Trying to get the exact timestamp is gonna be really difficult. And you get the idea. Yeah. Anyways, I was planning to stop soon. I didn't think we would do an hour's worth of like explaining stuff. I will be shilling the I say shilling. I'll give you guys the link to this match video because match videos are nice. And if you want a link to the wait, so this right, North America, fanfic Europe. And if you want a link to the Discord, it is in the chat now. Coming. What moves can you? Oh, we got some more questions. Starting the stream with the goal is to get on top of the opponent was probably the ideal start. This game is definitely about getting above the opponent, landing on top of them, and hitting them with something big. Like, especially since the highest damage starters in this game are generally JBs. So like, this does a ton of damage if you hit it. Corrin the Brave. If that's Corrin, All special moves get 2/2x, all new moves except A moves. I don't think you can. Oh, you can. Yeah, so all specials. You can't do supers, I think. You can't do supers, and good. But yeah, so that's correct. Ah, you know what? Did my internet just die? Hello? Hello? I think my internet just... whatever. I don't know, it's back. Anyways, so yeah. The aim of the game really is just to get on top of your opponent, press a big button. So the aim, so is Marvel interesting? Okay, so one thing that's quite interesting is the reason why the Marvel is that way is because you can move downwards with a lot of the strong characters, right? Take a look at characters like Storm, well not Storm. Marvel 2, it'd be characters like Storm. Storm can jump up, yeah, and then go down straight on you with a big button. Those characters are the ones that are strong. Sentinel can stay above you and just keep kicking you. Magneto can do the same thing. And like Melty is the same way, but the thing is about Melty is it's also like in order to do that can be quite difficult. And the pressure doesn't involve that really. Whereas in Marvel, it's like, oh yeah, tap tap tap, oh jump up again and do stuff, right? So yeah. I think you can't cancel the second input. No, that's actually not true. You can actually you can infiltrate the second special. I'll go do it. You can replace it, see? Okay, so what was the thing? So what Corin says is, what moves can use Dark Heart's mechanic on? Should I talk about Dark Heart? Should we go over Dark Heart today? If everyone's playing her. Even without the movement option of the die kick, you have characters jump forward with big normal plus assist, Hagger Pipe. So the reason why Hagger Pipe is good is because that move itself is insane. And his jump is not that high, so it's really good. Maybe some general tips. Yes, let's do some Dark Heart general tips. Dark Heart general. Get some tips. And before we do that, let's just talk about Flounder's question. Flounder says, or asks, you mentioned newer players do not pick Nazuna or Shark Girl when they first start out. But if they want to get good with them, is it still possible? Pressure come with a Shark Nazuna main. Shark? No, because the character's just shit. Nazuna? Yes. Nazuna can be really oppressive if you're quite good with the character, but at higher levels of play, it can be like really depressing. Really, a character that's really... I'm a Nazuna player, right? And that's like my second strongest character. And I use her, maybe my main now even. She's really, really depressing to play when your opponent is on top of you. But you know what? She's the best character to play when you're on top of them. So it's like, you know what? Take it, innit? Make sure, if you want to win a tournament, you don't pick Nazuna because Nazuna can't stably win a tournament. So kind of like grapplers. Grapplers don't win tournaments because they just win some and lose some. Like, there's like, it's just down to the day, right? Alright, let's talk about Dark Heart. So, no doubt that most of the people here who have played the game so far have tried out Dark Heart and know some basic stuff, like her mechanic, what does it do, So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to show you any combos, I'm going to show you some stuff that I found out with Dark Heart that makes her quite strong. Nazuna, leaves Minori, and maybe Yoriko hard to start with. Yep, that's pretty much it. Yeah, I agree with that. I also think maybe somebody like Echo can be hard. Not because the character is hard itself, but because she could give you really bad habits. And Kira's harder than nearly all of these characters, in my opinion. Because Kira is only good if you are good at the game. And like most grapplers, the way they win is by playing the game flow against the opponent and making them really confused. Unfortunately, it's way too easy to play someone like Kira and just have the opponent on top of you and you die. So yeah, Kira is really hard too. But in terms of your own learning, picking Nazuna is fine. Anyways, let's talk about Dark Heart. So, Dark Heart is really good. There are a lot of things about this character that's just unacceptable, but there are a few tricks that I've kind of found out that is like, not tricks, but there's some stuff that you might want to learn that might make you pretty good with the character, and you know, might give you an edge over edge over the competition if you knew. Although knowledge is always going to be like open anyway after a while. But yeah. Hero requires a deep understanding of Clash, and characters that cannot just interact with Clash will destroy you. That's not true, because Kira Shao, I don't think is even like 6'4". I think it's more like you need a deep understanding of the Clash against the majority of characters, and against characters that don't have Clash, they normally have other things that you need to understand. Like guard cancel clap, really strong Oki, extremely clean execution. Kira is not easy to play. Kira also has, because like Kira doesn't have that many bad matchups that you'd think, but then she fight against Nazuna and it's just completely unwinnable. Like it's completely disgusting. So yeah, Kira's hard to play. Anyways, so everyone knows about Infiltrate. Infiltrate is Dark Heart's unique mechanic, right? That basically sends out a clone to do whatever she was going to do. With using the trajectory that she was going to go with, and that's important. So for example, if you're jumping, the attack will kind of like begin as if she was jumping. See here? Okay. However, if you're going down, so you go do this, it will go in that direction. What you can do is you can use directionals, so boost into direction, to change the way it will move. So for example, if I go up, down, you could do that. It's actually really hard to do though still. But even though I move downwards with the character, you can make it like move in any certain way. So for example, you could use to do stuff upwards as well. Say it would be like, oh, I want to cover the jump. That's something that you might want to learn. In terms of the best infiltrate buttons, so far I feel like JC is the best button just because it's big. It's big, has a ton of block stun. Another thing as well is that the infiltrate mechanic, if they, say for example, that's our block. So it gets hit by overheads, right? This move is an overhead, but if you infiltrate it, it's still overhead, and I think that's like quite interesting. Like that. Well, I say like that, but actually, I didn't hit, did I? Wait. I'm gonna do this again. Like. There it is. Does it just not hit Angelia? I swear to God, I am missing it every time. And when I got hit by this point blank. Can Plancy's create an unblockable situation with it? I've seen an unblockable done with it, yeah. Although it wasn't that much different from just doing plant seed into just air attack, but yeah. Yeah, so as you can see, it hits crouches still. If you want a tip of, is this small girl too small? No, it does that it works. And it works on crouches, so yeah. Anyways, one thing I will say is if you want to input the input infiltrate during a cancel, when you plink from, say for example, C to D, yeah, it is best to hold the D button down. Okay? Just in case you want to do it as a cancel, because yeah, actually you don't even need to. That's actually quite a bit. It's quite easy doing it in a cancel actually. But yeah, I'll say hold it down just because anyway. Oh, I found it easier to do it if I held the button down. Yeah, you do have to like commit to pressing the button and infiltrating it before you actually hit them. Another thing that's quite cool about this is wait, let me just wait. One thing that's quite interesting about infiltrate as well is that like basically that DP, that thing that she's doing is a one-hit DP. So Oh god, I'm trying to get this to work. This input is not friendly. That absorbs the hit. Ooh. So yeah, if you like go up to someone, do infiltrate overhead like this, if they dragon with a one-hit dragon, it actually like. Ooh, I do love it. I do love it. So yeah, in terms of other tips, this 5B, use this 5B a lot. And yeah, there's not much else I can really say. I think the game itself is quite, the character itself is quite fundamentally simple. So a lot of it is mostly learning how to play the game itself. And I feel like a lot of characters are like this, where you are not learning to play the characters and learn the tricks of the character. You are trying to learn the game. The characters themselves are not that hard. So just another kind of defensive object that you can use to intercept. It's basically a way of attacking safely. So like that will beat dragon punches. However, the likelihood of you being able to combo from that, EX low. Like I don't think there's any way you're going to do it. Unless you're a monster. So like, so yeah, my main tip would be to use, if you're going to use homing into JC infiltrate, use the stick to change where she will go. Because yeah, you see how like you see how I use that to like cover different options and different spaces. It's quite annoying that I can't set the intercept to infiltrate to infinite, unfortunately, but yeah. Or it's like, oh, you know what? What if I think he's gonna dash underneath me? Yeah, use the. Do you block the infiltrate or dark art? You block in the direction of dark art. So if the infiltrate goes behind you, you don't block it cross up. You block it in the direction of dark art at all times. So you won't get like cheaped out by like that basically in the corner or something. Oh, that's amazing. Look at that. Like, if you're slightly off the corner. Oh, I got a combo from it. Nice. Another thing as well is actually, she has like a fuzzy guard that I don't think will work on actually that type, but oh, it does. Oh my lord! So you could do. That seems like it'd be gross with lightning. Probably. Maybe. It's weird because the character's been out for like 1 day. I'm not sure what like the best things to do on her are so far. I've seen the most popular one I've seen so far is people pick tier, partly because tier doesn't do anything. So they pick tier because they're like, I don't know what to do. Pick tier, right? You can fuzz it off of 2-on-4 AD as well. Yeah, so there are fuzzy guard setups posted by like Sue My Man on like Twitter. Oh, 2-2C with lightning. Yeah, there's teleport stuff like that. I've seen like time stuff. And yeah, fuzzy guard with Edward White. So what I wanted to show was actually like on a standard height character, you could get a fuzzy with something like, so if you hit that, and this does work as a fuzzy, by the way. So you do that, but that will combo, and you see how you get like just a full ground combo from it. You can also, I think you can also do like JBDP. Oh no, you can't. I think that's pretty cool. Yeah. Also, this is unblockable. I don't know if people know this, but actually, it's actually unblockable. Let me do super jump. Yeah. And you're wondering why that's useful? Because that's still error blockable. I don't really know why, but they decided it was to be. Boom! Hell yeah! That's just absolutely fantastic. Anyways, I'm going to see if there's anyone wants to play in EU matchmaking. Or people telling me they want to play from Singapore. They're fantastic. I don't want to play. So I'm going to play some games now. I think the time for questions is over. I hope you guys enjoyed. Watching. Let me know if it's been useful. Let me know in the Discord or like just send some stuff there. Can you go over what Paris is supposed to do? I can do a quick rundown before I go play. What I will say is I'm just gonna keep on streaming. So if you guys want to watch me play, you can do that. But Paris, the Paris Arcana. The main thing about the Paris Arcana for me is this fireball is insane. Also, that's fast. Because like if your opponent jumps, or they don't even need to jump, right? If your opponent gets hit by it, you could really easily get a combo effect, right? And I guess the other thing is that when you extend force, you transform into Paris. The most useful thing about this is probably the part where jumping buttons can be TK and they're overhead. And to get a combo from that, you go. You do like jump C into like E. But it's really hard to get anything. Do try to lab something for that, but I'm not bothered. It's not something I'm going to be using. Hey, it's Daki, how's it going? I'm going to be doing matches against Arcana now. Current topic. Just playing some games. Yeah, let me know in the Discord and stuff if you find it useful. Or even not even on Discord or here too, you know. If people would like me to do another one, if they've got more questions. Sometimes showing people is better than, just telling someone over text is not the same. You might want to see the context. You might want to see the effect of the Claris homing boost, for example. You might want to see what a crossed-up mix-up or air block string looks like. Yeah. Corin. Yes, there are setups like that. They're kind of expensive though. I think it's to do with like 2E, which knocks them up into the sky. Teleport behind them, knock them down, and then you get a combo. I think I was playing around with that in the crowdfunding beta as well, but it was quite like, was it worth it? You know, like that's always the question, right? Is it worth it? Let's start a European one. Make one private slot so people can see it. Oh, I'm still free to answer questions. It's just I'm gonna play some games in case you guys want to see what play looks like. I think the main thing about Paris is that the Extend Force Paris itself is not great because there's too many reasons why you wouldn't use it, right? However, the Fireball by itself is just too fucking good. The Fireball by itself is fun. I like watching these sorts of things, but I'm not very good at coming up with specific questions. Yeah, don't worry about it. It can be really hard. Especially since there's not a lot to like. There's a lot of things that people wouldn't know to ask until they see it, and they're like, wow, that's cool. Fireball got nerfed. I don't know if the Fireball got nerfed. Losing EFC combos kind of hurts. Yeah. I agree. Damn, that's crazy. Yeah, I don't know if the Fireball got nerfed. We'll find out in it, right? We'll find out if the Fireball got nerfed. So yeah, if you do want to play the Life Arcana, keep in mind that there are a ton of downsides. In fact, I would put it quite memes. Other than that Fireball. That Fireball is insane. If you don't need Extend Force combos, and you are the kind of guy that just wants to Fireball your opponent to death, yeah, pick Life. It's pretty good. It could be placebo, but I think the hit stun has been turned on the tracking as well. Honestly, I couldn't tell you. A lot of the reason why I knew that it was good was kind of like playing it, but I just haven't played it since, and I don't think is it good? I haven't got a full test. It also doesn't really matter now. I'll try it now for a bit. I guess we will see. Life Minori sounds completely garbage. I would avoid. Like if I played Minori, I would save my Extend Force every time, because without Extend Force, the character would be unable to do any damage. In my opinion. My opinion is not final, however. Ah yes. You have an opponent. Alright, let's die today. What is Okinabe picking today? Should I get this game? I would normally say no. However, it is for £7 on the Steam sale today, and previous days too. It is cheap as fuck. You should buy it even if you don't like it. In fact, I will send you the link to buy it right now. You should buy it even if you don't like it. Damn, what a quote. I don't know what Life Nazuna does, by the way. Oh, that tracking is worse. But that's the thing as well, is you lose your ability to play like... Oh wow. That's worse. Yeah, what? Buy it so the next version comes out with HD sprites and rollback. I don't even think the next version will ever come out ever. Ah! Did you see it, Deki? It definitely disappeared on hit. Oh god, fucking that. So one of the reasons why Nazuna is like really like bad is that she doesn't jump. Yeah, it also disappears on hit. Nah, man, fuck this thing. Yeah, in the beta, it's absolutely insane. I'm kind of glad it isn't as good, but like I think it might have been over nerfed. Yeah. All right, let's play some real shit. And by real shit, I mean I'm still gonna play Nazuna, but. What's in the new version? Balance? Question mark. And 2 new characters, but you gotta pay DLC for them. How could I ever play this character without extend force? Jesus. Red. Big button. Brother said that the one way to win this game is to fight your opponent with big button. Hey, get the fuck out. I think I'm still gonna die. Oh god. One thing I find quite strange is how they're like. The game came out on sale. I think that's really strange. But yeah, releasing on sale is a smart tactic. It gauges how many people would buy it even on sale. I think, honestly, the game being at like the cost that it is, about £7, £8, $10, a lot of people should, I would expect to buy it, even if they don't like the game. They're just like, oh, memes. You know what I mean? Like, I expect that. Especially if people are like, oh, it's the newest version of a game. Team Arcana has literally never made netcode themselves. Who made or done any of their own ports? No, they made Aquaparser. I'm pretty sure that's in-house, which is why the netcode is also shit. Aquaparser, Arcana Blood, and Nitro Plus. Isn't that in-house? No, Atlas is the developer. Atlas is the publisher. Atlas is definitely not the developer. Because if it was Atlas, then all their stuff wouldn't have the same features. Oh, nice. So with Nazuna, even though the reason I use that, even though it costs 2 bars, is because one, I'm playing tier and I can spend bars, but also I value getting out of the corner that highly, or not corner, but like getting out of pressure that highly with Naz. No. You're getting confused with the publisher and the developer. Examu developed the ports of King of Fighters 12, not King of Fighters 12, Aquapaza Natural and Mad. I think Square helped develop Mab actually, especially the port. The ports are made by I think Mab might be a bit mixed between the two, but basically the idea is that because those 3 games are so similar functionally and UI and UI wise, I would be very surprised if Atlas made a port and they reused the assets made by Atlas to make the Aquapaza port, to make the Natural Plus port. That'd be very unlikely. Think about it. Mab deck is somehow worse than this. Well, that's because this deck was Arxus. Mab is in-house, that's why it's shit. Oh, I just committed suicide. Very interesting how... The one thing that's interesting about Shao is that Shao is one of the few characters that has a good anti-air. Yeah, Aquapaza's menus and stuff were in the arcade version. Was it there? I just remembered that he's not playing Fenrir. Yeah, the problem about attacking that position is that's exactly where Nazuna wants you to attack. Log? I don't know, I just committed suicide. Log? Honestly, Arcana has proved to be such a low priority to access the works of the past that I wouldn't hold my breath. I mean, it's right for it to be low priority. Look how, like, the way I see it, Arcana Heart is a low priority is at Examine. You know, it's really sad. That's some wild ass fashion. Yeah, and try not to. People need to stop trying to do panic bursts like that. Yeah. Yeah, Atlas with Persona 4 Arena 1 was fantastic. That was a great way for Europe to get the game a year late and dying release. Yeah, people just hate Europe. I'm the same. Let's be honest. It'd be nice to have rollback, but at the same time, yeah. Oh, very good burst. Oh, bad god cancel though. Are there any characters people want me to play? Other than Dark Art? Actually, I might play some. According to the BBS, or the Facebook, they actually want to do rollback, but it costs bare money. And it's like, yeah, it wouldn't, I'm not sure if it's even worth it at this point. It's just because, like, I think I would prefer for them to just make a new game and then add rollback to that rather than add rollback to this game. That's just double perfect in it, petrol, mate. The reason why I say I prefer to have a new game rather than have this one have fallback is because a new game would probably do a better job of revitalizing the series with better visuals. Because regardless of how much people say graphics aren't a thing or like presentation isn't a thing, people are poor to that shit. That's why people like Strive hard. You know what I mean? Like it looks amazing. But yeah, but why don't you like Exo 2? You know? So yeah, it's like about Petra's relay capsules. I'm not sure. I don't know how to feel about them. I think it's because I don't know how to use them, but I'm like unsure. Jeebus ain't getting anything, they just want to sell DLC to casuals. Oh no, blatant. I would say yes, but I don't know if it's like really worth doing it into X capsule. Maybe it is. Oh, you know like that. Maybe it could be good, yeah. If I was side games, I'd rather do it with Shadowverse. Nah, if I was side games, I would try to make like I would try to make a Grand Blue versus a Grand Blue Battle Royale game, to be honest. But Bill Buxty seems good if you use an X reader. Yeah, I don't know. I think it could be. I don't know. I'm not really a Petra player, that's the thing. I do play like a lot of characters, but like I don't know if it's that good with Petra. It feels a lot better than it was in the beta, but you know, placebo, right? It's hard to tell. I don't know how to use this bouncing bullet. do I use? How would I use this? Oh, that's wrong.
それで勝ったつもりかしら。トゥリエージのチャンス。まだまだ。切らない。まだまだ。勝ってください。まだまだ。無駄なこと。輝く。トゥリエージのチャンス。まだまだ。エージのチャンス。のエットゥリ。覚悟はよろしく。トゥリエージのチャンス。これが輝く。まだまだ。無駄なこと。そこ。トゥリ。覚悟はよろしく。のエ。
Yeah, boy.
ダーゲルクビストは
I feel like Petra's bullets cancelled into reload is actually good enough for it to be a buff. That's actually good, but like I can't tell if that's just placebo or not. I'm not a very good Petra player. I'll probably be better to ask for like Taco and stuff. Strive is experimental. I don't know, man. It's a really weird game to have as your experimental project. I'm not gonna lie.
見て伸ばせこそ輝ける。ペトラ、今度みんなと一緒に遊びに行こうよ。慣れ合うつもりはありませんけど、考えておきましょう。スタンバイエンジェル。この程度。無駄なく逃がしません。覚悟はよろしく。トゥリエージルチャンス。無駄なこと。エクステンド。残りしない。トゥリエージルチャンス。のエクトゥリ。覚悟はよろしく。エージルチャンス。エージルチャンス。
One is not that good. Yeah, I wonder if there's like a better bullet. I wonder if there's a way to protect yourself with a bullet better, because like I'm pretty sure that the bigger screen makes it so she doesn't cover the bullet as well. Yeah, it's easy to dodge the bullet randomly. Oh, nice parry. Bullet management being a huge thing for Petra. Yeah, I think it was at one point. You can go back to regular game music. The regular game music sucks dick. Maybe I'll play a different set of tunes. I'll play something like Blue Archive or something. It's because the in-game music, I hate it. I'll play something edgy from like Blue Archive. No!
それで勝ったつもりか。そこは待ってください。あら、私としたことで。よいしょ。無駄なこと。この程度。この程度。エクステンドそこまで。あら、私としたことが。これが変わった。ここだ。無駄なこと。無駄なこと。輝き。覚悟なさい。まだまだ。そこ。ノリ。ノリ。ノリ。終わらせません。まだまだ。ここだ。無駄なこと。こんなこと。
I wish I was good at Petra. Petra's like a really cool character that's like really hard to play. Yeah. Yeah, once the stream hits about 2 hours 30 minutes, I'm probably gonna stop because it's getting late for me as well. So probably should stop. Maybe. Probably a good idea.
ペトラン、今度みんなと一緒に遊びに行こうよ。慣れ合うつもりはありませんけど、考えておきましょう。
I hope that people enjoyed the stream. Maybe do another one in the future.
無駄なこと。ノリ。そこですよ。無駄なこと。無駄なこと。この程度。無駄なこと。逃がしません。これが変わる。エラユート。この程度。見切ってノリ。そこですよ。ノリ。エクステンド。ノリ。ノリ。
Simple.
許さない。
This game always feels like if you do one misinput, you lose.
無駄なこと無駄なことそこ覚悟無駄なことこの程度逃がしませんこれが勝つ無駄なこと逃がしませんこれが勝つ無駄なことリクエルステンドまだまだ
About a bar, wasn't it? I was at a bar. I find it doesn't count. Yeah.
ラーゲルクビストは ぱいなさあ始めようか
The characters in this game keep getting more and more and more
私
options.
と一緒に戦って
Get to a point where every single character in this game is just
我を
broken.
信じ命の息吹を
Can be
もた
quite
ら
fun.
す聖
I
な
think
る
it's
霊
quite
を
fun. It's a lot better than Grand Versus, where every single character is released that
我
gets
が手
released
に
is like
宿る
really
悪魔
average.
の力
And then they're like, nah, you're not allowed to be average. Everyone has to be shit.
スタンバイ
It's like, why?
清めよ清めよここだ清めよここだもらったここだ清めよここだ清めよ清めよ清めよ遅いよ清めよ清めよ清めよ
One missing brick!
手に力を
Yeah, so what I was saying, how like Bottles Elsa is mad fucking good at Extend. There you go. there you go. Extend is so fucking toxic.
さあ始めようか真心いっぱい
Are you seeing the pure crimes that I'm doing?
お願い天使
I think like
私と一緒に
you really need to know the matchup to get around this. I think Rin has a lot of experience against this because he lives in my general area, so he gets used to seeing this stupid shit constantly. But like, if you don't know what you're doing against it, you just get blown up by random
我が
shit.
手に宿る妻の力ここに示す清めよ清めよ清めよ清めよ清めよ清めよここだ清めよ清めよ清めよ清めよ
Yeah, it's so fun. Nice. What's worse about Elsa being a Zona is she doesn't lose anything that she would normally have. So she's still like a fairly good Russian character. No.
しまったやるね清めよ清めよ清めよ清めよ清めよ遅い遅い清めよじゃあ清めよここだクレドこの手に力振り払うクレドこの手に力振り払う
Nice.
清めよ遅い遅い気づけよいしょ清めよ遅い気づけまだまだキリエここだ無理よ清めよ清めよ清めよ清めよご無理よ清め捨てられない清め
I was just making sure.
いいや深い
Hello, boys. Hi, guys. Anyways, I want to make this last game. I know someone just joined, but we're going to make this last game and then once we everyone gets some rest.
始めようか
Wish the netcode was a bit better. Same. Imagine someone came in and was like, yeah man, I want the netcode to be worse. Do you know what I mean? Like imagine. Or the netcode was just shit.
と一緒に戦って我は信じ命の息吹をもたらす聖なる霊を
It was pretty amazing.
我が手に宿る妻の力ここに示す清めよ響けこの手に力をグラディウス追い立て精霊清めよヘイ遅い清めよ清めよ遅い響け清めよ
None of the stages should lag. 'I do love just like zoning. It's not like that great, but it's like it's really fun.
しまったやるね清めよ清めよ清めよ清めよ清めよ遅いまだクレドこの手に力を払う今一度振り払うまだまだ精霊清めよ遅い清めよ清めよ響け遅いじゃあもらったエクステンドここだじゃあここだここによ清めよ清めよ清めよ響けクレドこの手に力を払う今一度振り払う清めよ清めよ清めよ
Mayo. Unfortunately, I'm not very good at like talking while playing. I really kind of There's a skill that VTubers somehow managed to get. There's like, you can play a game, concentrate while playing it, and talk at the same time. That actually fucking comboed! What does the holy water do? You can make them explode at any moment. So yeah, it's pretty good. You are not automated enough yet. Yeah, I'm not like playing on like super autopilot. Anyways, boys. And girls. Maybe girls and girls there. I hope you enjoyed watching it. I hope it was educational. I hope it wasn't boring. Yeah, Okanemi does like really good decisions sometimes, and sometimes he doesn't. But, yep. Guys, I will see you guys later.